Hello, thank you for joining us. I am joined here today by 4 of our ex-operators. The purpose of this panel today is to give you some insight from these people who have been where you've been. They've walked in your shoes, they've felt the pain that you're feeling, and now they're here at foreUP and they have some really great advice and insight for how you can use our tools and some of the best practices that you can start to use to run a better course. So before we get started, let's have you guys all introduce yourselves. Perry, why don't we start with you?
Sure, thanks, Amy. So I've been about a year at foreUP, and in the past, my past lives, I've worked at almost every golf software company there is, but I've been in golf course management software for the past 20 plus years. So consultant, development, sales, management, on and on. On the green grass side, I worked at Poppy Ridge Golf Course out in California and Poppy Hills Golf Course in Pebble Beach.
Just small little ones.
Just the small little ones, yep. And I do have a food and beverage background. I lived in San Francisco for 10 years and worked like at a Ruth's Chris and some high-end operations. So I do have a background on that side of the world too.
Great. Mark?
Yeah, hi, Mark Farrow. Been a PGA member for 24 years, came over from a competitor where I was there for 6 years in point of sale and marketing. Before that, I was an owner operator at 2 courses in Kissimmee, Florida, Kissimmee Bay Country Club and Remington Golf Club. Before that, I was in acquisitions for the 3rd largest management company at the time, where I was doing acquisitions of golf courses. So just kind of came up, started in golf when I was 12, worked at a golf course really for the majority of my life and really focused on marketing and sales for the most part of all that.
Jeff is actually not joining us by camera today. He has been very ill this week, but we're lucky that he gets to join us anyway. So Jeff, go ahead.
Thanks, Ian. My name is Jeff Siegmund. I've been a PGA member for 16 years. I've been with foreUP a little bit over a year and a half in the customer success team. I've in a previous life, I worked a similar role with Golf Now, and I got 25 plus years of municipal and private golf experience running facilities in Chicago. I was 2012 Player Developer of the Year in Illinois, 5-time on the President Award Council for growing the experience at fairly busy high-end municipal golf courses in Chicago.
Great. All right, Jared, you're last.
My name is Jared Holden. I'm a senior account manager here at foreUP. I've been with the company since October of last year. Prior to that, I was in the software side of the industry for about 3 years with a competitor, and actually worked with Perry there as well. And prior to that, I worked for about 10 years in various roles in the industry, from assistant golf pro through to director of golf and general manager at courses across the country.
We have some really great experience here sitting on this panel, so I'm anxious to jump into it. Let's start with the most obvious question, which would be, what advantages do you feel that you have working with operators here at foreUP, having been an operator yourself in the past? Perry, you want to go first?
Sure. Well, we can talk the talk and understand the business of golf, right? So for me, it's all about developing the relationship with the various courses, and since we know their pain, we empathize with them. It makes it easier to assist, right, and makes it a lot easier to help them grow their business, and hopefully makes it easier for them to believe in us, right, and what we're really trying to do it for, which is to grow our golf courses, right?
Yeah. Mark, what would you say?
Yeah, just like you said, feeling their pain, walking in their shoes, knowing what they're going throughout their days and dealing with golfers and customers and golf course conditions, and then trying to manage their point of sale, how to use it the best way that they can. Since we've been there and done that on really various of the older systems as well that are out there, we just have probably a well-rounded understanding of what everyone's going through. So it's for me, it's really great relating to the issues of the day and what's going on at that certain golf course, where they are on their ownership life cycle, whether they're new or they've been there for a while, or they're managing or leasing the course. Just knowing what all those things entail, and it boils down to them, being able to pay their mortgages and survive, right? So it's fun to help them maximize the use of our system to make that all work for them.
Yeah. Jared, any other thoughts?
Yeah, both Mark and Perry hit the nail on the head. Understanding what operators have gone through definitely helps out with our positions, various positions within the company. But I think a huge advantage is not only understanding that, but being able to talk to our amazing development team at foreUP and being able to convey exactly what the operators are looking at. And we understand how that flow should end up and working for a solution for our courses. So when speaking to our amazing team, we're able to convey properly, this is what we need to, how this needs to be built and why it needs to be built like that as well, because we've been there.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. Jeff, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, coming from the customer success team, just knowing the value of reporting as I'm trying to onboard a customer, making sure that, as they're onboarding with our platform, trying to make their system and their report structure a little bit better so they can make better business decisions with our tool. And then, like the other guy said as well, you sort of being able to, be the translator of the golf gibberish for the golf pros to, everybody in our company that might not have that golf behind the counter experience.
Right.
Sort of make the solutions a little bit faster for the operators that are looking for them.
Oh yeah, so much more relatable. Yeah, that's really great. Okay, so Jared, my first question is for you. foreUP is a business operational software, but foreUP can also help courses increase their occupancy. Can you give us your thoughts about how you think people can use foreUP to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to your tee time occupancy, obviously that's how a lot of golf courses outside of private facilities are thriving, right? They need to be able to fill their tee sheets in order to make revenue to, accomplish their goals. So being able to create specials on your tee sheet on the fly, emailing and texting those that are out on the course currently or that are not on the course currently, to be able to promote and promote these specials that you have. As well as utilizing the various marketing tools through our marketing modules and for marketing services as well, can provide a huge boost in revenue through increasing those rounds as well.
Great. So what about driving memberships? Jeff, I know you have some experience there. What do you think about using foreUP to drive memberships?
Yeah, with the flexibility in our billing module, it does offer us the ability to create, these subscription-based memberships that are big in other industries that people are getting more comfortable with to provide a more affordable way, maybe for people to split up that yearly one-time chunk membership into smaller incremental, be it either monthly, quarterly. We have the flexibility in our system to do that and set that up automatically, so the operator doesn't have to monitor that each month. And I think just then being able to be creative, using some of our experience and some of the stuff that we've seen to help, some of these owners maybe get over that hurdle. But it definitely does offer a lot more flexibility and entice some people that, maybe doesn't want to pay all that upfront membership at once.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. So Perry, as an ex-operator, how would you say people can best use foreUP to free up their time, have more time to do the things that they might need to focus on instead?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about when all the components come together, the proper implementation, right? Proper account management, proper support, right? When they all come together and they start to flow with the software, right? You just have frees up a lot of your time to run your business, right? As well as Mark will probably talk about his side of the world, which does exactly that, right? But with foreUP in particular, we have prepaying. We have the ability for the starter to gather data, right? And every step of the way, if we can just save a click here, a click there, it really improves their business drastically. And Jared also hit it on the head when it relates to the software, right? We kind of know when someone says, "Hey, I don't have time to gather data." We have responses for that. We can help with that, right? And that's where our team tries to improve their business.
That's great. So Mark, coming from the marketing side, how can operators use foreUP to just grow their revenues in general?
Yeah, one of the biggest things is the database. You know, our system does such a great job collecting and agglomerating all of the data points on tee times and date of last play and next reservation. There's a lot of new touch points that are all automated with our integration with Cinch. And like Perry alluded to, you know, just the day-to-day use. You know, when you think about an operator, when the staff comes in at 6 a.m. in the morning, the system turns on, you know, and they start working in the system for, you know, 15, 18 hours a day. You know, if staff's there until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, closing up the bar, you've been getting data that whole entire time on your customers and their interactions and their lifetime values and their purchasing. So for me, you know, on the marketing side, it really comes down to paying attention to that, working with your account manager to learn, you know, best practices on what to do there, and also with the foreUP marketing services team too. We like to try to consult and help you implement the best practices of that, and then just utilizing it. You know, sending communications, sending thank yous, sending welcomes, and a lot of that is automated, so it saves time and it builds revenue at the same time.
Great. Jeff, I have a question for you. What would you say are the two most valuable features that foreUP has to offer for operators?
I mean, I think piggybacking off of what Mark just talked about in some of our database, in our customer module, if you may, you know, we've got the ability to segment customers into groups. We could name these groups whatever we want. And I think it's a great marketing tool. It tags that customer at a point of sale, so it's visual to staff underneath their name, which groups that these customers are in. I think that makes it a great marketing and a sales tool for your staff. If they don't see a customer that might be interested in something, it's visual right there for them, and it's can provide instant opportunity for them to maybe, you know, pitch one of the new programs that we might have at the facility. And we can market off those groups individually, so we're not sending out these bulk mass marketing pieces that some, you know, people might not want to see and might opt out of our database. So we can really use those customers groups to really focus and target market. And then I really also love the ease of just a communication off of our T sheet, where we can contact the T sheet either via text message or an email right from our T sheet on a frost delay, a rain out, a car path only. Couple of quick clicks, and we can notify everybody that's on our T sheet, you know, any conditions that we want to on that day. And I think those are two tools that save operators tons of time.
Very cool. Jared, would you disagree? Would you other features that you think are most important?
I don't disagree. I think you can, especially when it comes to everything that we have to offer, I think you can name up a bunch of different areas of the software and nobody would be wrong or right. For me, as a former operator and, you know, someone who's worked at a number of different private and semi-private facilities, I'd have to go with flex billing, or the flexibility in our billing module for member billing. You know, other companies out there kind of have, this is our way, like this is the way that our software functions, and the flexibility that foreUP has really allows the operator to run their business their way and not have to change how they do things in order to accommodate the software, which is a really nice feature. And it's not necessarily a feature, but kind of runs along the lines of flexibility as well. It's just the amount of third-party integrations that foreUP actually has to offer with an open API that really allows operators to run their business their way, and again, not have to conform to what the software wants to do. We work with operators to allow them to do what they need to do for their business.
Great. Perry, let's hear your two favorite features.
I coming from the implementation side for most of my career, I really enjoy the flexibility again with the data, right? I've worked with other systems where once the data is in there, it's too bad, right? You got to go in one by one to change some attributes. Where foreUP has the ability to bulk edit customers, bulk edit inventory. It's pretty flexible in that matter, and it also has the ability to backdate things, right? And you can backdate ticket, you can change the attributes of the ticket. There's lots of flexibility, and I enjoy that. So working with the data is really easy for an operator.
Wonderful. Okay, let's switch topics and talk about power outages. We've all experienced them. We're all afraid of them. So what would your suggestions be for operators to prepare for this and get ahead of that problem? Perry, why don't you go first?
Well, speaking of that, can you shoot it to Mark or something real quick? I'm gonna have to go get to my battery. I didn't know my laptop's about to so I should keep talking, but you might lose me. So I'll be back in one moment.
No problem.
No, Pierre, I think this is, one of the advantages of being in a cloud-based software. We're not just sitting there waiting and hoping that our staff printed out the T-sheet the night before when we get in and the computer's down and now we don't know who else is on our T-sheet. With us being a cloud-based, one of the things that, I recommend for every client that I work with is, for 40 or 50 bucks, you can get an iPad with a data plan, from Verizon or any local cellular place, and keep it charged underneath the counter. And, the day that you get in and your internet's down, all you have to do is fire up the iPad. Since we are cloud-based, we're accessible through Google Chrome. We also have an app on the Google Play Store, and you literally fire up your iPad and you can run your day-to-day business. And then if you get into an absolute emergency, you can also do it off your cell phone. So I think that is huge for a lot of golf course operations. Not many are really close to major cities. So, a lot of the users that I've dealt with over the years, internet connectivity is one of our biggest hurdles. So I think having the flexibility to be able to introduce an iPad with a data plan, so you can run your day-to-day business, is huge.
Jared, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I absolutely would. I think, one of the most important things is just like in any kind of emergency is just to have a backup plan, right? So it's not something that you want to wait for. And when it happens, then we freak out and we don't know what to do. It's, I live in Oklahoma, so we deal with tornadoes and other winter or other weather advisories, right? But we have a plan. We know that we're going into a storm shelter, or we know that we're picking up the kids, the chickens, the dogs, and going down in the storm shelter in that order, right? But I think it's just a matter of talking to your staff, making sure that people are aware, so you don't have to have necessarily, the owner or the head pro GM on site at all times. And that if this does go down, I can jump onto my phone. I can enter credit cards manually if something goes down. I can do this, but having that plan of action for when that happens is important.
Right. Be prepared.
Always be prepared. Yep.
Okay, so as technology has advanced, which we know it has been doing at a rapid rate, what are some of the things that you think that course operators should be taking advantage of? Perry, how about you now?
All right. I love the chicken reference there, Jared. I love, again, working with a lot of other systems. I love the openness of foreUP, the open API, right? So we have lots of partners. Sagacity comes to mind, which is a dynamic pricing tool that the golf industry has been kind of slow to adopt, right? But it's the way of the future, right? And I just love that. We have a birded delivery we work with that is awesome. All of our partners are awesome, and we seem to get more every week, right? So that would be the one big thing, is to make sure you reach out to your account managers and see what's out there, right? Because event programs, tournament programs, we've got an interface for all of it.
Great. Jeff, what do you think?
Sort of piggybacking on what I said with the electricity too, taking the iPad functionality even one step further, touching sort of base of what Mark and Perry all have discussed with the importance of data, right? Now we can take iPads with us when we're on the golf course, book tee times more as a customer service when we see a member on this 17th hole, or filling in a phone number on some guys that might be on the first tee and they're getting antsy because there's a backup. We can use that functionality with the iPad to sort of kill time and collect and build our database, and make it a better tool for ourselves. And then, newly launched sort of late last fall, early spring in response to COVID was, the online booking and prepayment for greens fees was huge for us as a company. I think the execution was great. It helped us gain a lot of traction in the industry, and, we continue to build out that functionality, and try and make it to where more users are using that functionality to free up their staff now to provide more service to the customer that's in front of them, which I think will just once again help grow their business and create those relationships that we know that are so important in the business.
Yeah. I've been told that the prepayment functionality has also really decreased no-shows. So same functionality, lots of value there.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. Jared, what about you? As technology is advancing, what are things that you think they should definitely be taking advantage of?
As someone who for years really wanted to focus on marketing my facility and usually unfortunately fell flat on that. I was someone who thought sending an email to my entire database of 5,000 people or whatever was good marketing, or throwing a picture on Facebook every couple of weeks was good marketing. But it's just not, right? It just wasn't what was going to drive revenue in. And with the amount of tools that foreUP has with those services, I think it's just something that as an operator, you just can't miss on, right? And Mark, you can talk a lot more to that and the various tools that we use to help drive in revenue.
Yeah, Cinch, our connected data stream with Cinch is just phenomenal. I mean, gone are the days of having to download your list and get it into a CSV format and take it over to your email tool and upload that list. I mean, I remember back in the 90s when I was trying to do that on a regular basis, I'd look at that, and I did it every Monday for a few years in a row. And then, you'd come around to it and be like, oh man, when was the last time I downloaded our database? And it might've been, 3 or 4 months back. So gone are the days of missing immediate customer interactions, like sending a thank you automatically to every daily fee player that played yesterday, and throttle that so it's only once per month. So if you've got people that are playing like every week or a couple times a week, they're only going to get one thank you message a month. So many opportunities there, and you don't have to miss those anymore with what we've got. And I think the second thing to that would be utilization of the website. Our website department is producing some amazing websites, SEO optimized, fully functional in terms of responsiveness on any device, and realizing that there's hundreds and hundreds of people on those sites every day. There's a lot of marketing opportunities that people are missing when they're not adjusting their sites and putting things on the homepage that are related to their sales plan and things like that. So I'd say, the data flow into Cinch and utilizing their website more would be 2 things that come to mind for me.
Great. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, this is our last question. We're almost out of time already. One piece of advice. You can only give one piece of advice to all the operators out there. I want to know what it is. Jeff, why don't we start with you this time?
I mean, sticking with the importance of data, right? In the off season, take time to, clean up your database, your customers, your sales items, merging your customers, and then maybe looking into other options and partners that we offer through our APIs to see how we can help grow your business. Working with your account management team in the off season to learn more about our software, maybe find out any functionality that we can help. Obviously we have experience in our company, and we love helping challenge operators to maybe discover 1 or 2 new things for the season that might get those customers spending that 1 extra day at that facility.
Yeah, right. Jared?
Yeah, I'd go with the importance of investing the time in your employees to ensure they're properly trained. Make sure they know the importance of data collection and how it directly impacts the success of your golf course. When you utilize the software correctly and you take advantage of all the features that foreUP has to offer, it really can help alleviate stress later on and help maximize revenue moving forward. It also allows your employees to provide better customer service and will create an easier environment for your customers to navigate in when coming to your facility.
Yeah, take advantage of some of those tools that if you don't fully train them, they might not even be utilizing as well as they could be. That's great. Mark, what do you think?
I'd say, try something new. Look at this year like it's a fresh, brand new slate. Have we changed our pricing? Are we pricing our products correctly? I'm scared of the dynamic pricing tool. Why don't we look into that and see how it could work for us? Or if we're not utilizing prepayments, let me call my account manager and take advantage of that. Just try new things. I see a lot of golf courses getting stuck just doing the same old thing every year and trying to get different results, when sometimes you got to stick your neck out and learn new things. Learn things that you might not know. It's like, let's look into that. I don't know much about it. Let's get your director of golf, get your head pro, go into it together and try and learn new things, and utilize the account management team at foreUP and possibly the FMS team also to help you get a lot of that stuff done. So I'd say that, try something new. Let's look at our event schedule. Let's look at our products and services. Are we priced right? And just take a brand new, fresh look. When you're on a property for several years, you're in 5, 6, 10 years, 20 years, things can get really the same old, and sometimes you got to do an audit and look at everything and say, hey, where can we improve? So a lot of good operators do that. But I think some people just need to get a new breath into that balloon, new fresh air into that balloon, saying, hey, let's look at this stuff. Let's try to do new things.
Yeah, great advice. All right, Perry.
Oh,
You're muted.
can't hear you.
I love what Mark just said, because that was part of my thing. Almost every golf course had a banner year last year, right? So just keep going, right? Don't stop. Keep evolving. Just see what's out there, right? And I like to talk to operators about taking ownership in the software that you have, right? And so it doesn't mean you have to know every nook and cranny of the software. That's not what I'm talking about. But don't find out what's there, right? Because I've seen, I can't even tell you how many companies leave a software company for the next greatest little widget that they a salesman came in and showed them. Come to find out that widget doesn't work as they expected, and the previous company had everything they needed. They just didn't know. So take ownership in what you have, right? And reach out to the teams, Mark, Jared, myself, Jeff, all the people at foreUP. We're there to help you, to know what you have and to grow your business.
Yeah. That's one of the things about a system like foreUP that has so much functionality. Sometimes you might not even know what you don't know. So that's where you guys come in. Okay, so as a recap, let me just reiterate that Mark Farrow here is the director of our foreUP Marketing Services, which provides marketing services for our clients. Jared and Perry are both on the account management team. Perry runs the account management team. And then Jeff here is a client success manager. So he does a lot of implementations, training, making sure that you guys get all that training that Jared was mentioning. So if you need some help, your account managers can help you out. If you don't know who your account manager is, email accountmanagers@foreup.com and we'll connect you with the right person. But you guys, this is great. Thank you for joining me. Any last thoughts before we sign off? Great. Okay.
Thank you, Amy.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.